From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, Mario Lopez, with Gina Grad on news and Paul Bryan on sound effects. And now, here to interview AC Slater, AC Hater, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice, we're going to mandate you get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
Handball, Brian.
Kinky.
All right. Well, we'll have a recap of the 4th of July since everyone's back from the long weekend.
Did you make it to Red Rock?
No, but
Okay.
I have an update.
Oh.
Got a few updates on Red Rocks and House of Blues.
Oh.
And I couldn't get back out there. My daughter and all her friends want to come to Malibu. And blah, 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 blah. Let me just ask you guys this. Did your parents think it was important that you like them when you were a kid?
No.
It never occurred to me till this moment.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me either. I think that's part of the problem now.
Yeah.
I think parents wish that their kids like them.
I did like them, but I don't think it was their goal to get me to like them.
They weren't pandering by any means.
Yeah, I know, because no is what you heard just about everything all the time. And I realized that I think today's, everyone wants everyone to like them. And if you live with someone, you want them to like you. But I think like has maybe replaced respect or some other word. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of what's going on these days.
Wasn't that a Tony Soprano moment with what's this fuck? You don't have to. I loved you. You don't have to love me,
but you will respect me.
That's right.
That's right. Chrissy Moltisanti. Look at you.
Say, bygone era. Another. So in the Blues Traveler department.
You said House of Blues, but I assume you meant Blues Traveler.
Did I say House of Blues?
You did.
Oh, just now?
Mm-hmm. When you were leading.
at the
yes,
beginning.
Blues. Yes, I meant Blues Traveler. Sorry. They played Red Rocks or Red Rock. No, Red Rocks.
You're the expert.
I don't know. And it's the altitude, man. You can't think over there. And they play every 4th, and I was trying to get out there, but I couldn't. But don't worry, we got a makeup date planned. But I did call John, and then you can find the song regarding Steven. I did call him a week and a half ago, and I told him, here's a song I want you to play.
Yeah, give him a set list.
They've incorporated one of my favorite songs into their set list already, so I had another offering.
Sure. That's why you never feed a stray cat.
That's right. Always come. Weren't you telling us that John got to choose the set list for this particular show? They all rotate or something?
That means at the next live show, Brian, you get to pick what Adam rants about, and then I'll do it the next show.
Yes, I'll give you guys a list of 3 things. You can circle all of them, and I'll complain about them. So, according to Max Zapata, whose friend was in the audience, well, maybe we should play a little of the song first. You know what? Actually, I'll buy you a second, Dawson. Find the live. There's probably a live Red Rocks version of this song, which is, I don't know. It'll be more realistic. People will be put in a place. So, Chris, who do you know who went to the show?
Oh, it's Rod. He's taking photos for you as well. He lives in
Rod,
Denver.
yeah.
So he went out to the show. He takes photos of Blues Traveler at Red Rocks all the time. Like, he's a big photographer out there. But he said that John dedicated the song to Adam on mic before he played it.
How romantic!
I know. And as John told me, I got hit up by him on, I don't know, Saturday, Sunday. He said, you coming? You need passes? What's going on? And I said, sadly, no, but, when you coming around town again? And he said, 29th, Irvine. So July 29th, Irvine Meadows.
Nice.
And he told me something kind of interesting, which is... well, when I talked to him before, he just said they're out with Jewel and Train.
Damn.
Okay.
And he said Jewel's just crushing it, man. Just singing her ass off, like going new places. And he says it's like a challenge to him every night to try to keep up with her.
She's a real talent. She's funny too.
Yeah,
Remember she
is.
was at one of the roasts.
Right.
Yeah, and we saw her at a very small Acura event, I think, Chris, at Pebble Beach, like a corporate thing, like 2 years ago.
She was excellent, played all the hits, and then was very funny with her banter too. But half of it was just her just joking around and talking with everybody. It was great.
Nice.
The complete package. So he said he's working hard to stay with her, which I like. I like when people find ways to motivate themselves, even at not at an advanced age, but at an advanced place in your career. You know, Blues Traveler doesn't need to prove anything to Jewel. He's just sitting backstage listening to her going, she's crushing it. I want to up my game. I don't want people to come out and be let down a little. All right, I'm sorry. Do we have the live version?
Nice.
Yeah, he can belt it out in person. All right. You have the song Meaning, Chris? Because I don't know who that song sounds sad.
Yeah, I'm seeing John Popper said the song was about a childhood friend who had terrible experiences and luck. He was kidnapped by his father.
Jesus.
And when he came back, no one would speak to him about it except John. Throughout the years, they drifted apart and then met again at high school and became friends again. He had lost numerous family members through death, and once again, John would talk about it with him. He wrote the song about him. Apparently, they met up again after he released it.
Wow.
All right. Well, we'll catch up with him and Irvine Meadows on the 29th. Yes.
John Popper has a very infamous, at least among my high school peers and I, lyric that I, until adulthood, did not know what the real lyric was. In the very famous song Hook, which everybody knows, which, by the way, is, I think, maybe the first example of, like, meta. Like, he's singing about the song that he's singing about.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
Ben, do you have the lyric that I sent you? Do you have
we're scrubbing through it.
I
Okay.
love the Hook. That's one of my favorite Blues
Me
Traveler
too.
songs.
And I'd love for you guys, you might already know because you're a big fan, but I'd love for you guys to tell me what he's saying in this line, because up until very recently, I was singing a song that I couldn't believe they played on the air. They played on terrestrial radio until I finally figured out what the real lyric was.
Well, I can buy you a minute by telling you that there is some light at the end of the tunnel, because when I packed up Natalia and her girlfriends to take her out to Malibu, Natalia fires up her phone and plugs it in, and we listen to everything on 10, and it's a lot of Kanye West, and it's a lot of just weird rap songs about nothing and robot music and shit. This was 50% Elvis Presley.
All right.
Did you just see the movie?
They'd all seen the movie.
All right.
Now they've all seen it, and now we get to listen to some good music.
Okay.
Or at least normal music.
Yeah, did we start? I think you got to pivot to like other artists of the era. Otherwise, this is going to be a passing fad.
No, there's some old old Jackson 5 cropping up, a
Interesting.
little
That's what I
Motown,
like.
even some more nouveau country stuff like popping
Oh,
up.
boy.
Like it's spreading out. It's getting away from the Roomba vacuum filter and
good.
into lyrics and background musicians and all that.
Good.
Yeah, the song. You can look for this one and tell me when Gina's lyrics are ready. But I think there's a song called Rubbernecking. I didn't see the movie.
It's called.
yet.
It's hardly featured at all in the film. Might not be featured at all, but it's called a rubbernecking.
Yeah, right.
That's
I
all.
don't remember that.
It would be.
I was vaguely familiar
Stop
with
a
it.
look and listen, babe.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
now you
That's
know
all.
it. Well, we don't need to play it anymore. We got Brian. But
There's
Okay.
not a lot of Elvis songs featured in that movie. Now that I think about it.
So you saw it, but you haven't mentioned that you've seen it, which is, I guess, what we need to know.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 3-star movie. It's good. It's a good movie. It's just very long.
the kids were
Well, it's Baz Luhrmann.
in a weird thing with them living in a TikTok world full of 30-second bites. They've all seen it multiple times
It's a long
in
movie.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give Sunny a side compliment here and say that I'm going to guess Natalia has seen in her life 50 movies, maybe 75. Like, if you're a new moviegoer, a Baz Luhrmann movie about Elvis is going to blow your fucking mind.
Right,
If
right.
you're us, it's going to be, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I've
Well,
heard
there's
both.
also this thing, which is kids these days, one person has seen it 3 times and their friend hasn't, so they just go with them.
Oh,
the friend
that's
that wants
kind.
to see
Yes.
it.
Sure.
Sonny's been dragged to it a few times. He's
Got it.
not dragged, but he wants to see Black Phone or
Yeah,
whatever's
the
going
Ethan
on.
Hawke, I think.
And
That's right. Supposed to be good.
They are NC-17, and so then they end up just going to this other
Elvis
one.
again.
We have the lyrics.
Yeah. Just listen to the last lyric that they're going to play and tell me what he's saying.
Yeah, we're coming in a little bit in the lead, Gina. You
Okay.
pointed out. Here we go.
Oh, you think they say titties?
I felt too many titties is what I thought until incredibly recently.
I think he says ditties.
Yeah, hip.
Of hip 3-minute ditties.
Right,
Not I
hip.
felt too many titties, which I never could figure out how he could get away with playing this song on the radio.
Well, the fun thing about Blues Traveler shows is everyone who goes to Blues Traveler shows is huge fans, and we all sing the songs all the way through. And you look around, and it's like nobody ever sang that. We've sung hip ditties.
Yeah. But not
yeah,
hip 3-minute
that's-
ditties.
I never knew until right now.
Yeah, I
there
didn't
was
know that.
3-minute
I knew ditties. I didn't know there
I
was
knew
hip.
ditties.
I didn't
I
know
knew
hip 3-minute.
Hip
That-
3-minute
yeah.
ditties.
Yeah, he kind of raps in a lot of his stuff. All right, so the kids are listening to Elvis.
All right.
Good.
It's a step in the right direction, man.
One thing I've been driving around, whatever the new Tesla, whatever the expensive Tesla Goldwing, whatever for the weekend, and it's got the yoke steering wheel.
Okay.
Oh.
You guys familiar with that?
It's kind of like a line, like a bar, isn't it?
It looks like a yoke. They call it yoke. It's like whatever's in the cockpit of an airplane.
So you hold it like this, yeah?
Yeah, you hold it at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Let's see. Yeah, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. It's not round.
Yeah.
It sits up about 7 inches or so, and then you just hold it to the right and left, which is fine when you're going straight.
I'm surprised that's legal these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems unnecessary.
It's a little unnecessary. I gotta say, the Trans Am race I was in the other month, they had the top of the wheel, a section sawed off, so it created a sort of de facto yoke, but the bottom part was round. They just took out a section, and they take out this section because you can't see the dash with that wheel going through it. You don't really use the top part, but I will say this. I had no fucking idea how many miles I drove with my knee.
Same.
I do so much goddamn knee steering.
Same.
It's not really steering, it's more stabilizing.
Yep.
When you're when you're texting and you're just motoring around the
Brian's
far above, I
horrified.
have my knee on, my left knee is on the bottom. There is no knee work with the yoke.
I'm not trying to virtue signal. I've literally never done that. It's never crossed my
Adam, I
mind.
feel you.
I scared the shit out of Brian on 395 when I took a bong rip driving with my knee.
So we were driving through the mountains and Don's like, watch this.
I not only do, there's two things I realize I miss about a round steering wheel is A, knee driving, which again is knee stabilizing. It's just, we're going down the freeway and I'm just going to use my inside of my left knee to just kind of keep us going here. Tons of that. And I let cars unwind after a turn. I don't steer them out of the turn. I sort of take my hands off the wheel and the wheel just, the car
Rights
unwinds.
itself, yeah.
It corrects. And without the round wheel part,
It's interesting.
weird.
It's
the
like you're in an
unwinding is
arcade.
weird. Yes, it's a little unnecessary. I get why they're kind of doing it, but I could go with a sort of half yoke. I could go with the top part gone, but I like the round part at the bottom. Anyway,
I respect it.
so that's hot yoke talk. We have our what we did on the 4th. We have well, let's talk. What'd you do, Gina?
We had a raucous weekend. We kicked it off by seeing the Minions movie with, by the way, a lot of teenage girls. I don't know if that's like, if Natalia's over it, but tons of teenage girls.
Well,
actually,
they must have grown up with Minions.
exactly.
Right? It's been
Made the
10
movie
years.
more fun. A lot of cheering from the girls and hooting and hollering. Very fun. Whenever a Minion would do something cute, they'd all go, "Aw!" So it was better than Lightyear in that respect. But we Apparently, there's a huge 3rd of July festival in Moore Park, which is technically Ventura, up by kind of where I got married.
We run it together. Moore Park.
Moore Park. What did I say?
I don't know.
You said Moore Park. Which
Yeah.
is I never heard that.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Moore Park. Moore Park.
Now I can't figure it out. It's just
Moore Park.
one.
Okay, Moore
it's
Park.
one
It's
word.
Moore Park.
All
Whatever.
you need to know is backwards, Moore Park is crap room.
Thank you. Dawson always coming in with some
He
helpful.
held the mic with his knee when he said that.
So that was like lovely. It was a total like throwback. It felt very Midwestern, very dare I say Southern. A lot of blondes and flags.
All right.
And noticed some T-shirts that I couldn't get pictures of, but I did want to mention them. If you ever get sick of hanging out in LA, and I kind of get the feeling you do, you need to head yourself up to Moore Park because here were some of the T-shirts that were featured. Well, let's go Brandon, obviously. Black and white American flags that said, I don't kneel. And my favorite shirt. On the front, it said, I don't kneel. On the back, there's a different shirt. It says, I'm American. I don't kneel for the anthem. I thank our troops. I own guns. I eat bacon.
Wow.
All right.
So if you want to go to Moore Park and really feel like you went out of town, go there.
Shocking. They found a guy who believes all three things.
I love it. I was down at the beach club. There's this beach club that if you get a house up on the hill, they give you a key fob and you can go in there.
It's just called the Beach Club.
Just called. No, it's got a name, but
Are you in the
I'll
Bel
think
Air
of
Bay
it.
Club?
No. I'll think of the name. But anyway, La Costa. It's called La Costa Beach Club.
so just drop his name if you go up there.
And
In my defense, there is a club called the Beach Club.
oh, there is. Huh. Well, I believe
Lest
it.
people think I was just out of my
Oh,
mind.
no, it's called La Costa, and it's great, except for everything is ruined because they have a separate door with a separate key fob that you enter if you have a dog.
Oh.
And you have to go down the side and go to the beach. You can't like walk through the beach club. It's not really
Okay.
a club. It's just a front door and then sand, but no using the main door.
Okay.
And okay, you guys, it's first things first. As I go through my travels and I see people just with their dogs everywhere now, ubiquitous. They're walking through Starbucks, they're walking through McDonald's, they're going through the Trader Joe's. It's dogs everywhere. And we've turned a blind eye to dogs everywhere, airports, airplanes, all forms of transportation, like everything all the time, even kind of personally, like when the, aging starlet Yenta comes in here, she's always carrying her dog along with her. We've cracked down at the beach. The beach, like if somebody said, like it's like they went, what are we going to do with all these extra dog rules we stopped enforcing at the airport and on airplanes and in supermarkets and every private business and everywhere in society? Why don't we dump them all at the beach? So now there's big beach rules about your dog, but there doesn't seem to be anywhere else in society, which is weird because the dog is, the beach is kind of the natural place for a dog to, and nobody begrudges anyone. As a matter of fact, it's sort of majestic to see the guy with this piece of driftwood chucking it out there and the
great.
dog running. I would prefer seeing that, but Phil can't get in. This is a newer thing because, of course, two people came in with a dog and they scrapped, and then there was an argument, and now it's ruined. It's basically it's the one guy throws the beer bottle onto the field, and now we're all drinking out of a styrofoam cup because one fuck up. Just this, we've created a society around the one fuck up and the one incident, and now no more Phil on the beach. So I don't have the fob for the other door, so I like come in and I bring Phil, and I'm told he can't pass through.
Membership revoked.
There's also that thing where the dog's already there, and they go, but you got to go around and go back out to the sidewalk and then go around to the dog fob door. And then I'm like, I don't have the dog fob. And they're like, we'll send a guy out around.
boy.
And now it's a thing. You know what I mean? And then the guy always has to do can we put a moratorium on these conversations, especially when people get into their 50s? I'm not supposed to do this.
Oh, shut up.
But I suppose, okay, thank you, hero. I mean, the guy was perfectly nice and everything, but please please, the conversation, the number of conversations I've had with folks that have just like walked over and opened a side door or something, going, the whole conversation there is about how they're not supposed to, and how it's really, and it's like our combined age is 114.
Yeah. They're pound of flesh on the way over.
Let's talk about anything other than what the potential risk is to this very risky behavior where you wipe the key fob and the dog walks in through the side. But Phil and I think I tweeted a picture actually, Phil. Phil on the beach out there. Phil was
happy boy.
Phil's happy when he hits that water. He likes his tootsies, in the water. So a lot of discussion about, and so now here's the problem. Now it's time to leave.
Good luck.
And guy with key fob is in the middle of the sand with his back to me, engaged in a conversation. So then I'm standing out there and I shout the guy's name out from the patio part. He's enthralled with this conversation. So I'm looking at him with his back turned, and then I'm looking at Phil chained up over there. And I don't want to go get him and pull him away from the conversation to get the key fob and go out. So I just grab Phil and we just hustle him right out the front door. Oh, that was another conversation. The next day, oh boy. Oh boy, dog through front door. Can't have it.
Had to have a word.
Jesus Christ. It's like we have so many conversations. I'm just like an atheist, time traveler who was just put on this planet to be annoyed by conversations that really never need to be had. But that was the day before. But on the 4th, barbecuing, brought the girls. I love the dude who shows up with the red, white, and blue socks on and gets the table. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. On one day of the year, festive socks is fine. But I like the people who do it up.
Yeah.
I just like that person. And the people, you guys tell me, there's a sort of thing that has to do with barbecuing, and it's it speaks to much more than cooked meat. It's kind of that thing we talked about with Van Halen with the green M&Ms. Like, if you got this right, we know you got other things right. There's the me version of the barbecue. That's the Trader Joe's bag that's bleeding through because something's dripping and something got put on there sideways and it's punching through the bottom. Then there's the guy with the collapsible wagon. He's got the wagon. He's got the wagon, but this one scissor folds down to a smaller size, and it's made of burlap, and it's stretched out. He's got everything laid out, and he's pulling the wagon.
It's already portioned.
And he's setting the stuff out. And he's got all the tongs and the spatulas. He's
cutting boards.
He's doing surgery, essentially. Everything's been prepped and smoked and readied, and you just look at him and you go, that guy has his shit together. Not as it pertains to barbecue. I'm talking about in life.
Yeah, that's
I'm always... In a world where everything has wheels and coolers with wheels and more, I'm still always the guy with the satchel that says, the paper thing says Saks Fifth Avenue on it that I've pulled out of a closet that I'm dragging around with one handle broken. I don't know what that is, but you show up and there's the guys who do it. And they know what they're doing. They know eyes are on them.
Right.
They like
it's the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
You often will cite some obscure fact or something, and you'll follow it up with, can you believe I was a bad student? This is the flip side of that. This is, yes, we can believe it, because on the 4th of July, which doesn't sneak up on you,
no.
you are constantly bringing things, like you said, bleeding, ad hoc,
right.
barbecue.
Yes.
Yes, we can believe it.
Yes. And I saw more than one of those weird collapsible wagon things, which I enjoy.
Badass.
I also, but I made burgers and dogs for the girls, and they loved them.
It's the next step in like barbecue prep is there's gonna be flies or bugs or whatever. It's either the nets, the little over the canopy net, or we have there are these little stands. I'm holding my hand up about 18 inches, and they got little like floppy propellers on them, and you turn them on, and they just whirl like a helicopter.
They will
keep. I have visual evidence over the course of the last year.
On the theme of that, while I am haphazard and sloppy in my own approach to things, I demand excellence from those around me.
Smart.
That's what makes a true leader. It makes me number one. I get the best out of everyone. Right.
You're welcome.
We would go out and we would do Catch a Contractor. I'm going right back to your 99-cent collapsible net thing. We would do Catch a Contractor. We'd be in Corona. It'd be like 107 degrees. And at some point, it'd be time for lunch. And they did good craft service. I mean, there's a big pile of chicken, a big pile of beef, and everything else. Those yellow jackets, those weird meat eating,
they like protein.
Weird protein bees would just be nasty. And it's just sitting all the time. And after about 7 of those sessions, I was like, you can go online and for $1 a piece, get the little umbrella thing and just put it on
little
top.
dome.
It's got a little net, a little dome. My grandfather had those when I was a kid. Like, they exist. Go avail yourself of that shit, would you please? I did have those. I will say. All right, but the propeller thing that's a new level. All right, so we have more to talk about. There's also a interesting hand grip strength study that verifies some of my thoughts that Chris found. We got a Bette Midler, Macy Gray into the cornfield discussion. I wasn't aware, but Chris found that too. Another story out of San Francisco. First, I'll tell you about Dave. We've all been tight on cash unexpectedly. Yeah. And God, I grew up that way and still feeling it every once in a while. If you're living paycheck to paycheck or struggle to make ends meet, unexpected expenses can be really stressful. Dave can help. Dave, it's a banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. That's right. That's money, and you need to fill your tank. God knows. It's probably that much out in L.A. Buy wedding gift or catch up on bills. No interest, no credit check needed. That's right. Millions have already downloaded the Dave app to get financial relief with extra cash. If you're in a pinch and you need some help, download Dave. It's it's a helping hand from future you. It's Dave, right, Dawson?
Download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking protected by Evolve. Member FDIC. Future you. Well, thank you.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Back with more right after this.
In the spirit of Murrow, Jennings, Cronkite, here's another great moment in local news.
And then the 4th of July. Here's an actual customer out here. What's the best kind of firework to buy?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
Where are your parents?
That's a great moment in local news. Now, back to the Adam Carolla Show.
That is the greatest compilation of words ever strung together. How old was that person that said that?
He looked to be about 13.
See?
Perfect.
Sounds about right.
Parents home trying to figure out how to get him to like them more. Versus, let me hear that again. That made me laugh. Wouldn't you like to know more?
What's the best kind of firework to buy?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
Would you hire that guy and say he's got moxie, or is that guy a pain in the ass?
Give us some ears to marinate.
But what if he's just being funny?
I wouldn't hire him to dog sit.
All right. I want to get Brian's weekend.
Yeah, real quick. I think Ben might have a compilation. Yeah, that's interesting. I sent you a whole bunch. Yeah, that's these are them. These are they're just floppy little helicopter wings.
Yeah.
There you go. And,
they
keep
set
your
up,
flies away.
have a
Christmas
base.
present.
Smart.
I think we know what everyone's getting for Christmas.
Yeah. What do they call them?
Bladed fly repellent.
Yeah. Nice.
Fly fighter.
Nice.
Those things are great.
Yeah. And you set them on. They got
Two
a little
AA batteries. You set them next to the food, and they whirl and keep flies away.
Yeah.
And
Love
bees
it.
and everything, apparently.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We have Bette and Macy got into some trouble. I didn't hear about it over the weekend, but Chris evidently did.
I guess let's start off with Bette. This is really interesting because she was one of the many celebrities who declared a cancellation on the 4th of July, saying that there are a lot of people not celebrating the 4th.
A lot of women not feeling so independent.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but But she also tweeted something kind of interesting.
More wieners for me, bitches. But go ahead.
Literally.
That's right.
She tweeted something interesting, and I'll just read you the tweet. Women of the world, we are being stripped of our rights over our bodies, our lives, and even our name. They don't call us women anymore. They call us birthing people or menstruators and even people with vaginas. Don't let them erase you. Every human on earth owes you. And that's all the tweet says.
Replacement theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now she's being called a TERF, transphobic. And yeah, there's just this whole movement of just like, because of the Roe v. Wade stuff and everything, like now being a woman is very important. And this pride of being a woman is just kind of creating some controversy.
Well, the
now.
left fucked itself because 10 minutes ago we couldn't define what a woman was. Nobody knew. It's all in your head. And then Roe v. Wade comes, and then they go, women are being. So, do you know what a woman is, or don't you know what a woman was? And they kind of painted themselves into this corner of like, a woman is whoever thinks they're a woman, and birthing people and. It's always going to come back and bite you in the ass when you try to stretch biology versus labeling and start getting into, I can't define a woman, but if you think you're a woman, well, then if you think you're a woman, then the Supreme Court has attacked you as well, even though you have a cock and balls. Like Leah Thompson or whatever Thomas, the swimmer, that's a woman, but then is Roe v. Wade affecting Leah?
Yeah, I think she's all right.
Well, then who's a woman and how's it work? You fucker. Look, Bette gets exactly what that fucking old cunt deserved, which is she was on the tip of the spear, all this shit. Now her own fucking the spear she was on the tip of is stabbing her in the fucking asshole. Good. I'll eat each other, all you fucking retards have been trying to reform society in your image in the last 20 minutes. Fuck you. Thank you. Macy Gray got into trouble. So who's mad at Bette? Her own, right?
Yeah.
Or the extreme side of her
They're calling
own.
her TERFs.
They're calling her TERFs. Yeah, just because
Good.
they want us to say birthing people or people with vaginas, and she's saying no, be proud to be a woman, and women, we must stand up. So, so they're not happy with her right now. So she's getting a lot of backlash along with Macy Gray. So she was on Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Ted Nugent must be laughing his ass off.
Couldn't have told you definitively Macy Gray was alive.
Yeah, and here's some comments that Macy made.
Controversial.
I will say this, and everybody's going to hate me, but as a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman.
Right.
Sorry.
You feel that?
I know that for a fact. Like, if you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want. But that doesn't make you a woman just because I call you a her and just because you got a surgery.
Because people do feel that there's biological sex and then there's gender identity, that you can identify as whatever you like
You can call
in terms
yourself
of a
whatever you
gender,
want.
right?
Yeah,
That's the
totally.
freedom we live in.
Absolutely.
But actually you can't change the mechanics of biological sex. They are what they are.
Well, just women go through just a completely unique experience, and surgery or finding yourself doesn't change that. Being a little girl is a whole epic book, and you can't have that just because you want to be a woman.
I mean, you know that when people like J.K. Rowling have said this, they get attacked, they get abused.
Yeah.
The cancel culture mob comes from me. She gets called
He's got a
transphobic
great
and so
looking
on.
set.
You might get the same for saying it.
But it's the truth. And I don't think you should be called transphobic just because you don't agree.
Yeah, so she says, I don't think you should be called transphobic just because you don't agree. And she's very much being called transphobic.
Is she, which is fine, because these are all fucking idiots who hate their stepdads. I get it. But the real problem is when they apologize. Like when they've been, that part where they've been taught and they've learned and they've been educated. That's the kind of Orwellian part. So is everyone sticking to their guns, or are they apologizing?
I've yet to see an apology from Macy. And then Bette, I mean, she did all the July 4th is canceled stuff after that tweet, so maybe she's
give it a day.
Yeah, she's back in the good graces. But Macy just happened today, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with her.
And on the other side of things, you hear why Jordan Peterson is off of Twitter.
Oh, he went after a doctor that performed the surgery on
Elliot Page,
Elliot
formerly
Page.
Ellen Page, and called the guy a criminal physician for doing that surgery.
Right. Isn't that his opinion, though?
Sure.
Like, why does Twitter have to fucking police everything?
Everybody's getting involved.
We know what Jordan Peterson says. That's what he thinks, and that's what he said. Twitter. And now we're all talking about it more than we probably would have. But do we need to put him in Twitter prison for that? Or isn't it this place where you get to... Look, you can be a champion of Elliot Page.
You really combined them,
Elliot Page. Or not.
Yeah.
But that's what Twitter's for. And so if you're a champion of what he did, but you get to stay... But if you're not, then you don't get to stay.
Yeah,
so why are we deciding
it doesn't,
that?
You're right. It doesn't make any sense because when, with all the COVID misinformation, blah, 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 quote unquote, that was, their view was, we know what's right. You are peddling misinformation and putting society at harm.
Yeah.
So we can't have you on here. This is not that.
No,
this is some guy saying, I don't like that doctor.
Here's my opinion. But I think when you look back on an Inception, it says it starred Elliot Page.
Oh, really? They changed it?
You have to acknowledge that it's Elliot now.
But Elliot didn't do the movie.
It seems weird.
That's my take. Yeah. And it's also fucking weird because if you're, what's his name?
Jenner?
No, the other person in that movie.
DiCaprio?
No. Oh, no. In Inception, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's what I'm thinking of. All right.
Go down the cast.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm asking you to do. All right, what if you had a son and your son became a big star? Mm-hmm. And then he was in a movie and he had a love interest who was a woman named Ellen. And then the person went and changed their sex 10 years later. And then we went back and said it was a dude. Mm-hmm. Now, if you read the description of the movie, you're in a gay relationship. So everyone who was his love interest in any movie,
Juno is very confusing.
It's now a gay relationship. Yes,
I don't demand that Christy go back and change all the awards she won before we ever met to from Christy Clough to Christy Bishop.
With your name, right?
Yeah, she won them when she was or got whatever she got when she was her.
That's right.
Yeah,
at the time.
Yes. No, it's who. Yes, it's same with Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner won the Olympics. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Caitlyn didn't win the Olympics. I don't know why we have to do this. And then it's also, like I said, super confusing because if you're uninitiated, then you think there was a gay relationship in this movie, and you think that was a big part of the movie.
I'm exaggerating. Christy didn't win shit for us.
She didn't win that. She didn't win that Bobby Knight chair tossing competition. Don't they have that every year?
She participated as an amateur.
Oh,
yeah, she wasn't eligible to win.
Pro-am.
She wasn't in the open class.
That's right. They put a little A next to her name.
She's in the Powder Puff division. God, how dated is that? The Powder Puff.
That's what we called it in high school.
That anymore.
Oh, when I did like
League.
BMX. When I did BMX bicycle racing, there were the dudes and the girls race was the Powder Puff.
Yeah.
And
can't do that.
No one seemed offended. All right, you have this other article, which is interesting.
And sorry, didn't the Powder Puff girls or Powder Puff team?
Power Puff.
That's right. Didn't they kick your ass?
No. The Powder Puff game was the girls playing football and the boys cheerleading,
right?
Which I happily participated in.
But didn't they physically
as a
beat
cheerleader.
you?
No, that was the Puffs and the Chanticleers.
Oh, sorry.
Those were the two.
Get my history
Those
right.
were the girls' groups in my high school, the Puffs and the Chanticleers. And they had a big broomball hockey game, tennis shoe, it's crazy. Every part of this would be illegal today. They'd take over the rink, the frozen rink. It started at midnight.
The goalie gets a push broom.
Yeah, everybody, all the girls are out there, wearing like triple sweatpants and hoodies and padding themselves up as much as they can. They take a conventional broom and they duct tape the bottom of it, probably throw like a volleyball out there, and they all run around in tennis shoes and bash each other and smack the ball. And then all the 16, 17, and 18-year-olds who are students of North Hollywood High show up with 6-packs of Mickey's Big Mouth and sit in the audience and scream and get drunk.
That sounds fun.
Could you imagine that?
No.
Like, could you imagine whoever owned the rink, like going, all right, the teenagers want to show up with their beer at starting about 11.
Everybody clear out.
Yeah, no, that was the one dare I didn't take. I was, when you said to me, let's break into the Mulholland Club. Let's stack furniture up, outdoor furniture, so we can crawl to the third story of the roof and then jump off naked.
No problem.
Clearing the pavement and the diving board and everything. I was like, I'm in. And when they'd say just about, put an M80 in that guy's mailbox, I was like, I'm in for everything. This was the one thing I was like, I'm out.
Like Steve-O and the car up the ass. Wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't do it.
Smart.
I wouldn't do it. They're like, Chris and Ray are like, we're getting naked. We're going to put our junk in a paper bag and tape that on. We're going to pull up in a van right outside the two big doors at the end of the rink. They're going to burst open. We're going to run down these 5 stairs. We're going over the wall. We're starting at one end. We're going all the way down to the end of the rink. And then we're coming all the way back.
Very elaborate.
With just our junk in a bag and, 18 crazy chicks all fucking beat down their mind with brooms out there. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And the entire school was there. The entire school was there. I was like, you're going to eat shit? They're going to pull the bag off your dick? They put a bag on their head and a bag on their dick.
Guy.
And I was like, no.
Oh,
that's the unknown comic.
Unknown comic. God, they're the same to me.
Yes, and I was like, I'm going to just be watching because if I go down on that ice and I'm naked and those chicks are crazed and they're going for the bag and I'm just going to be laying there nude on a block of frozen ice, not doing it. And they're like, all right, well, we're doing it because it needs to be done. And that van
needs to be done.
Pulled up like right in the middle of the game, and the doors burst open. They came running out naked, and they jumped onto the ice, and they were trucking down that ice. And the girls started attacking them immediately from both sides.
Brooms.
They just started attacking them brooms, and Ray was throwing elbows and shoulders and knocking them to the ground.
Problematic on many levels.
I know, and they were running. And they ran, and the chicks were sliding into them, and they were jumping over them and banging them with their shoulder and throwing elbows and forearms and stuff. And they successfully made it all the way down to the end and all the way back, went over the railing.
No one pulled the bag off their head?
No.
Wow.
These guys were good football players, strong, sober-ish, and had good balance, and went over the top. Jumped out the door, jumped into the van with the sliding door, like kind of the A-team one. And I remember whoever jumped in first just slammed the door, so Chris and or Ray were just standing out in the parking lot with the bag around their dingling. But
Can you help me with the sofa?
Now, were they able to keep the wraps on who this was, or were they so proud of themselves they had to tell the school it was them?
Geez, they didn't. The van sped off into the night, so I don't know in real time if we're aware of it. But the guys, there's a real combination between guys willing to get nude, and there's a 1-2 punch that'll get a guy nude all the time.
Do tell.
And Ray and Chris were both those dudes. They would get nude at any party, any event, anything. Ray's big thing long before the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If there was a party, like a really crowded party, he'd just get naked and put his junk in a sock and just walk there. Now, so here's the key. There's two key elements. Yay, there's the obvious. You muscular, look good. These guys were very muscular, very naturally muscular. Let's just look, small waist, big arms, they just looked good. Number 2, they were both hairless.
Oh,
hairless.
Yeah.
Hairless. Chris and Ray are hairless and muscular. I
for 2.
had a hairy ass.
Oh, boy.
So there's no way I was getting out and presenting my shame in front of all of North Hollywood High. Hairless and muscular means I'll fucking get naked anywhere all the time. And they were the ratio, like, hairless to how muscular. They're both were off
peak.
the fucking charts. Like literally no chest hair, no back hair, no ass, no nothing. And super muscular and defined.
Wow. They were the image in the textbook.
Yes.
Of what you want.
Yes,
right.
naked all the time.
Noted.
But Chris found a article. What is that article?
Yeah, the study.
Oh, the study. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is from Springer Link. It's a publication for evolutionary psychological science, and it was about hand grip strength. And they went to university, surveyed 145 males, and were able to come up with the conclusion that hand grip strength is correlated with self-assessed happiness, health, social confidence, overall physical attractiveness, and overall number of sexual partners.
Grip.
Yeah, I've always told you, I've been very athletic my whole life. I've always had a shitty grip. That's where the low self-esteem kicks in. Now, my right hand, I can barely fucking hold a pencil in. And I've told you the number one attribute of action heroes. It's always, the biceps, the upper body, their ability to leap. It's grip.
Hold on to the landing
Yep.
gear of a helicopter.
Or get your fingers on the side of the mountain.
Every single one is like, that crane's 20 feet.
Yeah.
I'm going for it. They're like, run and just dive off 40-story buildings. It's the most unrealistic part. They grab it with one hand while they're holding an infant. Like, nobody could do that. The Rock is 280 pounds. He couldn't grab
God.
that thing with one hand.
Even John McClane in the original Die Hard, falling in an elevator shaft, grabbed a hold of the ledge.
Yes, the grip is the number one thing all those studs share.
Well,
Yeah.
bury the lead. I mean, those who got a good grip, they got a grip of girls.
That's right.
That's right.
So now you ask, well, now what is this? Is it psychological? Is it physiological? I mean, they're happy. They feel good about themselves. They're getting laid, The ladies, I mean, obviously you're strong, you're virile, you got a good grip. But to some guys, it's very God-given, which is I was always like strong and athletic, never with a good grip. Then there's Jimmy's grandfather had a crazy grip, like Uncle Frank. Jimmy's Uncle Frank would grab you like a claw.
It's not correlated in the way you would think. We had a guy in college who rushed our fraternity, nice guy named Scott, ROTC, big guy, strong guy, handsome guy. He had a little, limp little handshake.
fish.
And we trained him to have a better handshake over the course of his pledgeship.
You want to hear what a stud is. Speaking of, oh God, Chris. And time I almost killed myself. I've told you this before. You want to talk about grip? His big move was just to stand in the doorway, just like the doorway of this studio. He'd reach up and he'd just grab the casing. And now the casing, I live in a shitty apartment with streamlined casing going over the top of the door. It stood out about 5/8 of an inch, and it was rounded.
Ooh.
It wasn't sharp.
Degree of difficulty high.
It was broken. The edge was broken. He would just grab it. Take both hands, he's a 210-pound guy, grab it, he'd pull himself up off the ground, and then he'd slowly thread his legs through his arms.
That's pretty
Like he's on the
badass.
monkey bars.
Through his arms and lower himself back down after he'd inverted himself.
It's Ocean's 11 shit.
I
that's
tried
crazy.
that shit, got my feet stuck on the ceiling, and came right down to the fucking linoleum
And there
head
you lived
first.
for the next year.
Fucked myself up royally.
Jesus Christ.
You want to know about grip and like core strength? I know, I've told you this one before. I swear to God, fucking try it. Just try it. Try it to really appreciate it. Sometimes when you see guys do stuff like they get up, they plank out or they something, you kind of look at them and go, hold my beer. I could, and then you try it and you're like, oh, no fucking way. Mulholland Club had a nice big diving board about 3 foot above the water. Back when you used to have a diving board, people could
Nice.
fucking, now we have to remove all the diving boards. That was the best part of my childhood is finding a pool with a
remember.
diving board on it.
When was the last time we saw a diving board?
Hang on that, just sit in the water, just hang on the diving board, reach up. Your waist was about even with in the water a little bit, facing away, not facing in, and just pull himself up, throw his legs over his head, and lay down flat on the diving board.
He's a gymnast.
I tried that 700 times. Like you can get your knees up to your chest. You ain't going further than that. You ain't inverting it.
You're not flipping.
Rocky Balboa in the cabin in Russia.
Guy's 6'2", 210 pounds. Not a gymnast. Not a little guy. And crazy grip. Crazy grip. He put his hand. Most people, when you want to fuck with your friends, like Ray and all those guys, they'd punch you or they'd piss on you or they'd smack you or something. He'd put his hand on your skull and just start squeezing it, and you'd think your fucking fingers were going through your skull, and you'd have to run away.
Damn.
Crazy grip. Tons of ladies.
Ray didn't have the discipline to do this, but wouldn't he have been great if he was born in a different era on American Ninja Warrior? Because it's all grip, it's all grabbing things, swinging.
The only thing I will say about those guys is they were big. And those guys, they look great, but they're probably 163 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, it is really hard. You don't see guys climbing rock walls that are 200 plus, and if you do, fucking look out. And these guys could do that shit at over 200 pounds, but they were big guys who were super athletic for no good reason other than just genes. And then I got the Jim Carolla genes kicking in, so no grip for me. But this is interesting.
The correlation.
Is the correlation. Give us the rundown one more time.
Hand grip strength is correlated with self-assessed happiness, health, social confidence, overall physical attractiveness, and overall number of sexual partners.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Domino effect.
Yeah. So we should be praying that our sons have good grip.
Dragging them back to your cave by the hair.
Or it is interesting that in the 70s there was a whole slew of devices to do your grip.
Sure.
Like guys walking
Sit
around that spring-loaded thing. There's a weird ball thing that everyone used. There's some centrifugal ball thing. Like
now we have
maybe they knew something.
We have a Nerfy stress ball.
Yes.
And speaking of grip and slighter men, happy birthday, happy 60th birthday, Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, he's all grip.
All grip.
He was at, saw him on TV at the F1 race where they had a crazy crash. I don't know if you guys saw.
I didn't see the crash.
They had a crazy crash right at the start. You know, they made the
Is Tom okay?
sport. He was watching in the booth, but they had a crash and probably saved the guy's life because they instigated these carbon fiber halos over the top. They used to just race. Dude's head was hanging out. They probably had a little roll bar behind, but nothing in front. And now they have these halo systems. It's like a hoop of carbon fiber and one very thin kind of blade. This was at Silverstone in England. And at the beginning, the guy got hit, flipped, got on the, it was kind of an interesting thing. They can't account for anything. The tracks are 1,000 times safer now than they were in the past. That's for sure.
Oof,
He's on his roof with no roof, and then he jumps over the tire barrier and into the fence. Now the guy's okay because they have these newly instituted halos, these roll bars. Otherwise, he's on his head right now the entire time.
Look how long he's sliding upside down.
Yeah, and he is going on his head, and then his head through the gravel, and he didn't slow down in the gravel because he was upside down. Normally,
is that the start of the race?
Yeah, that's the start of the race.
6 seconds in?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and up and over the top as well. So the tire barrier didn't catch him. Now he's rolling through the gravel pit, but it didn't slow him down because there's nothing dragging on the ground.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It is crazy too that they have a medical car that chases the beginning of the
I
race.
see that.
That's why.
That's a sweet gig. All right, you'll tell us when Mario gets here.
I will.
Okay. Mario Lopez, I guess running a minute or two late. There's also a story out of the San Francisco. I think I saw the news story of this, Max Fab, but I don't know if it's a print story or not. Somebody tweeted it to me.
Yeah, it's both. I mean, ABC7 covered it. So there's this couple in San Francisco. that was fined $1,500 for parking in front of their house.
Well, find the news clip, because there's a part. It's a little bit of a story, but there is a part of it which I like, which is essentially couples lived at this house for 40 years. They've always parked in the same place on their property, like in front of the house. And at some point, it's an issue. It's an issue. Okay. It's an issue. And parking on the street is hard because it's crowded, and it's also steep slope. And anyone, by the way, can I say this? You should not be able to build a driveway or a street where the slope is so much that the door of your car will close on its own.
Yes, you're right. Yes.
Jimmy lived up on a street. He lived up on a street, and you'd go there for Christmas every year. And every year it was like, oh, unpack the kids, get all the presents, open the door.
Take your goddamn ankle off.
It'll hold. It's weird. It'll hold for like a 3 Mississippi. Like you open it up.
God forbid you jostle the car.
And then at some point you turn back to get something out of the console, and the fucking door comes crashing down on you. It's like, or stiffen it up, or just make the, like when you buy the car from the dealership, they should go, do you live on a steep street, or do you have, because we'll give you an extra 5 pounds of gription on this door, because it fucks. I have a house now, the driveway's kind of steep, but the door holds. And you're holding the mug of coffee, and then you sit in the car, and now the door comes from and smacks your elbow, and the fucking coffee's everywhere. But we'll play you this story until Mario Lopez gets here.
Parking is always a challenge in San Francisco. We know that. But for one couple, it turned into a deep dive into San Francisco history. They suddenly were slapped with a huge fine for parking in their own driveway, as they have for nearly 4 decades. 7 on your sides, Michael Finney has their perplexing story, and it really is, Michael.
It's a head shaker, no doubt about it. It seems so unfair. They've been using their car pad for decades, when suddenly the city said that's illegal. Not only that, they were threatened with a $1,500 fine, a huge penalty, even by San Francisco standards. The only way out? Go back into San Francisco history.
Absolutely outrageous.
Parking in San Francisco.
It's insane. There's not enough parking. There's too many cars.
A difficult part of life here. You find a spot, get a ticket anyway.
I got hit with $2,000 worth of parking tickets.
It just seems wrong.
For Judy and Ed Crane, it seems especially unfair.
We moved in and parked in that driveway every day and every night.
They live on the steep hill where parking can be a gravity-defying challenge. But they could slip into their driveway and park on their car pad, which they'd been doing every day for the past 36 years. But not anymore.
We got this email and we can't park in the parking pad anymore. And I said, that's crazy.
Out of the blue, the couple got this ticket for parking in their own driveway.
It was very surprising, to say the least.
And worse, it came with an enormous fine, $1,542 plus another $250 per day if they didn't get the car off their car pad.
I wrote back to them and I said I thought it was a mistake.
But it was no mistake and no ordinary parking ticket. It came from the city planning department telling them it's illegal to park in the front yard of a house.
And if we were found parking there
Hold
again,
on. First off,
it would be $1,500.
I get by the vibe who these people voted for. Good. Take it in the ass from all the fucking people you voted for. Hey, bitch, this is what you wanted? You wanted more rules? You got them, bitch. Keep going.
They're fine.
And so they quickly pulled the car out, but none of it made sense.
I would have gone full fucking Ruby Ridge on these dicks.
That has great utility, not just to us, but our neighbors in terms of more parking spaces.
Ed and Judy had been parking there for nearly 4 decades, and as far as they could tell, the space was used for parking since the house was built back in 1910, one of the first in their Noe Valley neighborhood.
All of a sudden be told you can't use something that we had used for years, it's startling.
And so the planning department gave them a challenge. Prove the parking was a historic use on the lot.
Right. All right, but hold on a second. All right, let me just say this.
Prove it.
It's in my fucking books. It's in the goddamn books, everyone. If you go down Forest Lawn Drive, there are a bunch of illegals on one side of the fucking street selling flowers, making a mess, and doing whatever the fuck they want. And on the other side of the street, it's a bunch of soccer moms getting fucking tickets. When cities go harder on the taxpayers, they go softer. Meanwhile, they're fucking handing out syringes and safe injection zones. You have to have a middle. You can't. It's like one or the other. Like all the places. Los Angeles is one of them. San Francisco is one. All the ones that turn a blind eye to all the fucking despicable and illegal behavior from everyone living on the streets, selling whatever the fuck they want to sell, focuses that much harder on anyone trying to run a business or park in the front. This is. I don't know that people fully understand the relationship. It's not like we turn a blind eye to everything. No, we turn a blind eye to criminals and fentanyl use, and then we go hard on elderly taxpaying couples. San Francisco is a fucking poster child for this shit. So I'd like to live in a place, Nashville, where they went, well, we have some rules, and we also have rules for people who don't want to follow rules either. But all right, keep playing it.
It'd be grandfathered in if we showed them a historical photo that showed a car or a buggy, a horse-drawn buggy, in the carport.
So they're gonna
right away, they dug up this photo of their daughter 34 years ago. A part of the car barely visible, but officials said not old enough.
I did a number of online
listen,
searches.
hold on a second. Don't you fucks have other problems? Do you guys understand this? This is a metaphor for fucking huge bureaucracies. This is what it is. You want more, or would you like to fucking shrink it down just a little bit?
And meanwhile, some private company had to come up with an app to shoot pictures of human shit, so you avoid that on the streets of San Francisco.
Not enough to, believe me, I've dealt with building and safety. Not enough to the asshole or cunt behind the counter who doesn't give two shits about your fucking driveway. And by the way, if you start pushing on them a little bit, they're like, well, now it's on.
Yeah.
Now,
not old enough.
So this guy's got to go through the microfiche and try to find pictures from 1914.
Did he?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
This is great.
And tried to find historic resources.
So they combed through hundreds of historic photos.
Hold on. I have to quit my job and become a documentarian because you fucksticks in the city council don't want me to park on my property.
Wow.
All right, keep going.
It showed the early days when there were few streets or homes.
Our house and our neighbor's house had empty fields all around.
But to find a photo of a car or a horse in their particular driveway back before the days of iPhone cameras, nearly impossible. And then, bingo.
To me, it's pretty compelling that that was a car.
This aerial photo from 1938 shows their exact home.
So this is our house.
And Ed is sure he can see a car or a horse and buggy pulling into his driveway.
So this little black
could be a piano
blob
Wow.
looks like it's pulling into our house.
It looks like just a blob from above, but Ed says it must be a car, like all these other blobs you can see along the road.
I don't know what else they would be. To me, it's pretty compelling that that was a car pulling in or out of a parking pad.
They rushed the photo to the planning department. The proof they needed, right?
Hey, Ed, I just put your golden
They were
years.
too fuzzy.
The planning department said this was not clear evidence. Officials tell us the couple was violating a code section banning vehicles in a setback in front of a house. Though it's okay to park in front of a garage like this. Planning Chief Dan Sider says it was enacted decades ago for aesthetic reasons. To quote, ensure that front yards don't turn into parking lots. But why enforce it now?
Yeah,
He
no
said
Valley,
someone
that's a
made
real
an
problem.
anonymous complaint to the city. Two
All right.
neighbors.
First off, all right, hold on.
Oh, someone
made an anonymous complaint.
Oh, boy.
Can we round these people up and put them on fucking Devil's Island? Because I've lived next door to so many anonymous complainers. It's fucking... Somebody went to the city to complain about the elderly couple who'd been there for 37 years. And by the way, the people that were complaining are probably there for 18 months or something.
The couples lived there longer than they've been alive, most likely.
Right. All right. Well, sorry. Keep it going, the anonymous complaint.
Got tagged for the same violation. In an email, Sider wrote, I recognize that the property owner is frustrated, but the planning code doesn't allow for the city to grandfather illegal uses on account of their having flown below the radar for a length of time.
They were lucky.
And so their carport sits empty as they struggle to park on the hill.
This feels really unfair. And
She's got to hold the hatch open with her head.
The city did cancel the fine after the couple got the car off the car pad and kept it off. And the city says the couple will have to build a covered carport or a garage if it wants to park there.
Good luck
or
with that permit.
They can find another old photo. I want to hear from you. Go to ABC 7 News.
Another one? How many photos from 1918 do you think are out there on the internet?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was that blob not clear enough for you?
Yes, Amelia Earhart took a picture in 1937. There's not a lot of them.
Oh my God, that's evil.
Oh, it's just indicative of like a big government in San Francisco and bureaucracy. And by the way, I guarantee these two old fucks are sitting in their fucking kitchen discussing moving to Nashville or moving to Texas or moving somewhere. This is what gets taxpayers to fucking move. All right, Mario Lopez is here. So we'll talk to Mario right after this.
The Adam Carolla Show presents Mario Lopez's birthday cocktail party for October 10th. Let's see who's invited. Italian opera composer Giuseppe Verdi. Let's welcome American jazz pianist and composer Thelonious Monk. American filmmaker Ed Wood. Hairstylist and Manson murder victim Jay Sebring. Actor and voiceover extraordinaire Peter Coyote. Folk singer John Prine just walked in. Country singer Tanya Tucker. Actor Bradley Whitford just showed up. Let's welcome murdered journalist Daniel Pearl. Chinese-born American actress Bai Ling. The greatest frontman of all time, David Lee Roth. Brett Favre is here. Dale Earnhardt Jr. just drove here. The not-so-great governor of the great state of California, Gavin Newsom. And out of the fucking blue, Chris Penn. Mario Lopez is on the Adam Carolla Show.
I think that's the most eclectic party we've had in the 2 years we've been doing this, Mario. Congratulations.
Thank you. I've learned a lot. I didn't know that many people. I knew David Lee Roth, Brett Favre, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. I was not aware of the other folks. So
Daniel
thank you.
Pearl, Ed Wood.
You're a hero, Gavin Newsom. That's going to be awesome.
It's your boy.
I just found out that Mario bought a house in my neighborhood that is 80 yards from where I live.
Oh.
This is awesome news.
That is awesome.
Big, beautiful house. I saw it being built.
Really?
Every stitch. It's famously along the trail where I got into it with the government guy when he was trying to close the trail down for COVID.
Site.
Oh, was he?
I got into a big battle in the street.
Oh,
yeah. It was right at the head
standoff.
Right at the head of the trail. And he was putting yellow police tape.
Oh, no. Can't have
listen,
that.
Everybody. 10 minutes ago, we were putting yellow police tape in front of outdoor hiking trails. So next time the government says, I have an idea.
Yeah.
You don't need to listen with both ears. You can just listen with one and then go, But yeah, that guy and I did battle right in front of the house.
Is this the house that you and Sonny would go walk near and you'd go trespass and it would freak Sonny out?
No, that was another house.
Oh, sure. You're just saying that because Mario's here.
No,
Sonny,
that
your
was
son?
years ago.
I have a Sonny, too.
You have a Sonny, too?
I have a Dominic.
Oh.
I have a Sonny. I have a Gia. Yeah.
I'm going to... the problem is selling the kids on the going to the friend's house and hanging out isn't what it used to be because I'm going to go... Well, let's head over to Mario's place. He's got a swimming pool. It's like, I'm in the pool now, Dad. I can't hear you.
Right.
I got water in my ears. He's got a movie theater over there. Yeah, we got one too. He's got a double-wide fridge full of... Yeah, I was just going to tell the nanny to whip me up something nice.
Actually, what do you want from Grubhub?
I guarantee I have more tequila. Casa Lopez over there. Hey, Adam, let me ask you, what's the deal with all the bears? Every time I'm looking, and there's bears that are running rampant in the neighborhood.
I haven't seen any.
Oh.
They like to hang out in the pool.
Oh, really?
Bears, yeah. In the last 3 weeks, maybe it's just been on my radar because I'm moving recently, but a couple other friends that I have that lived right there, one bear went into his pool, another one bear went into their pool. I'm like, it's a wild kingdom up there.
It is kind of interesting how when humanity sort of encroaches, the natural wildlife doesn't really take 5 steps back. They just kind of take a half step back and they sniff around, and there's cougars and bear and deer and skunk and like everything the second you get into that. I'm okay with that. I feel like if I'm eaten by a bear, I must have done something wrong in another life.
Yeah, it's part of the plan, I guess.
So very interesting story. How old were you when you started with Saved by the Bell?
I was 15 years old. We were actual teenagers playing teenagers, which is rare because prior to that, remember like in Greece or even 902, and everybody like in their mid-30s. We were actually, I think that's part of the reason why it kind of resonated with kids, because we were actual kids playing kids.
That show, to a group, I'm not sure what the demographic is, to people that are, 31 to 43 or something. That is number one show. Everybody at every airport recognizes you in that demographic, and then beyond, obviously, Dance with the Stars and all the TV shows you've done, and you're in every hotel room.
Yeah, just about 1 million of them. Yeah, and I didn't know doing that gig. That's a deal I have with Sonify called Must See Movies with Mario. When they asked me, I thought, okay, it could be kind of cool. I bang it out one, not even a day, like 30, 40 minutes once a month. And then it's in all these rooms, and everyone that travels, especially all the athletes, baseball players and stuff, they're always like, oh, dude, overload. And so, I mean, I've heard everybody from like Oprah to Clint Eastwood tell me they've seen me in the hotel rooms. Charlie Sheen had the best story. He told me he was so high one time for 3 days, he didn't change the channel, he just saw me the whole time. That's my favorite.
Well, now it kind of begs the question, like, you could be a star and the cast member of Better Call Saul or something, and everyone agrees that's a great show, but viewership, 1 million a week or whatever it is. Or you could be Flo from the insurance thing and then be ubiquitous, except for you're ubiquitous, except for we're not sure what you do, but we all know you.
Yeah.
So what would we rather be?
Flo. See, I thought you were going back to Alice. Remember that show, Alice and Flo, Kiss My Grits?
That's Flo.
Alice.
I was like, that was a mean callback, Adam.
If you get the opening to Alice, the TV show, it will explain. It was one of those openings that just explained the entire show. Yeah, she moved to Arizona?
Something like that, yeah.
Or New Mexico or something with her son. Well, it's one of those shows that could have been a spinoff, but you didn't know it. But then when you read about it, it is a spinoff.
It's like in that Norman Lear era.
Right.
Yes. Yes. So you start off as a gifted dancer.
Well, are you talking about like in this business?
Yeah.
Well, prior to that, no, I started off, I was 9 years old getting into this business accidentally. I'm a child of immigrants and the first generation kid here. I was born and raised in Chula Vista, which is a border town next to Tijuana. I could usually see the lights from my house. I was only 3 miles away. Blue-collar folks. My dad worked for the city, my mom for the phone company. And I was a hyper kid, and there was potential for a lot of trouble. It was in the most upscale neighborhood. So my mom's plan was to keep me as busy as possible with activities every day, so I didn't have time to get into trouble. And it worked for the most part. And the kind of trouble I got into was in school for talking too much. So I was like the only dancing, wrestling, karate, theater kid that I knew, because I was doing something every day after school. Then I was about 9. I was doing a dance recital, and someone approached my mom, asked her if I'd be interested in getting into print work, commercials locally. My mom was like, "What's that?" And then she explained it to her, commercials, you take pictures, this and that. And she's like, well, he's not shy, he reads well, he likes adults, he doesn't shut up. Why not? So she asked me. And I was like, okay, that sounds all right. And then that's how I got into it. I literally just kind of fell into it. Then once I fell into it, I fell in love with it. And according to my dad, I've never had a real job, so.
Well, it is true. You've managed to string it out. Let's see. I mean,
so when I was 10, the first series I got, sorry to interrupt you, before Saved by the Bell, I was on a show called Kids Incorporated for 4 years.
Don't have to tell me about Kids Incorporated.
Yeah. Where I was getting to do everything, singing, dancing, acting,
with Fergie.
Playing the drums with Fergie, with Martika,
right?
With Rashawn Patterson.
That was the best show ever.
Jennifer Love Hewitt was on there. Yeah. So
it
was like the Mickey Mouse Club, but like before Mickey Mouse.
But like in like a day club as opposed to a night club, like for kids.
Yeah,
I remember.
Weird. I think about it. Yeah, should bring that back actually.
I mean, the motor. It's so weird. So how do you give a kid a motor? Like, we have kids. Everyone wants to talk about training, education, exposure to the arts, and all this other bullshit. It's really motor. It's like you have a motor. You have a motor. You had a motor. You do have a motor. You're born with a motor. Some people don't have the motor. How do we get the motor going in people? That's the question. Do your kids have a motor, or is it too young to tell?
I think they do. I mean, I think the best thing that I can do for them would which is what my dad, I think, did for me, was instill a strong work ethic. Like, I never could just sit around and watch TV and hang out. My dad would put you to work. Nobody would spend the night over at my house because you spend the night over one time. My dad would put you to work. We'd either be digging ditches or we'd have to do something around the house. Somebody wanted to, like, hang out. So I think, you know, my kids are growing up a lot different than I am, and without any sort of struggle, fortunately, and, you know, been fortunate enough to they're going to be all right. But I don't want them to be spoiled either, and I don't want them, and I want to, I think, lead by example by instilling a strong work ethic. So they see how hard dad works, and that he still has like a hustler mentality. And so I'm trying to lead by example that way. So I think that's one thing that I'm trying to show them. You know, there aren't no shortcuts. Nothing's given to you.
Flo spun off of Alice, by the way.
Good to know.
In 1980.
Oh, there was a Flo spinoff?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that, but she was like the breakout character with the red hair, right? Or Kiss My Grits.
Kiss My Grits.
Yeah, exactly.
Mel.
We're showing our age right here.
Vic Tadeback. Do you remember
Vic
that?
Tadeback. That was Mel. Yeah.
Mel was...
He was a degenerate gambler. I don't know why I remember that.
Old. I don't remember that shit.
Mel was... there was no Me Too movement back then.
Yeah, right.
Mel was just yelling at all his waitresses and physically threatening them all the time.
That's right.
We have the intro to Alice, by the way, if you don't remember how bad my childhood was. This was part of it. People used to get to sing their theme.
Wow.
And I remember I grew up in North Hollywood, and I think this took place in Arizona or something, and it's a million miles away. I have no idea where this desert is with this strip of highway going through it, and a diner. Like it seemed like it was from
Roadside
1875.
diner.
Like I had no idea that Arizona was where it was, or you could get there in a 55-minute flight. I had no idea. So, Mario, I know, let's see, I'm reading here that you underwent a baptism by immersion in the Jordan River in 2018. Tell us about that.
Well, I was in Israel. That was a little bucket list thing I wanted to do. And I did the Catholic tour, so I did everything. Everywhere Jesus went, I was there, I guess. And so I was there for 2 weeks. And it was one of the trips.
in Rome.
Yeah, exactly. It was an awesome trip. I mean, I love history and I love religion, so what better place than Israel? And it was the only trip where I didn't turn on my TV once because I was literally going 100 miles an hour. And as somebody, I think they said, "You want to get baptized?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So it wasn't like I went there for that. I said, "Yeah, okay."
Well, when you travel and you turn on your TV, you have to look at you, right? That's kind of the deal.
So, but that was a great trip, and I got to go to. I went to Palestine. I went to Bethlehem. I went to spend there. I was there for 2 days too. So it was a really cool trip. Bless you.
Tell me what you guys, perfect timing, Brian.
Turn the mic off, went onto the console, and yet has to be drawn attention to.
Well, all right, here's an observation. You guys tell me what you think of this. The people that really are fascinated by history and seem to have a pursuit in it, like I want to know World War II, how it worked out. I'm very interested in these stories all the way back to Jesus' time. Seem to be very happy and satisfied. And then there's another group that's obsessed with history, but they're doing another kind of history. Like, the first slaves were brought. They're fucking miserable. So it's weird that there are two groups. And then there's kind of the middle that's not interested in either version of history. But the groups that are interested in history seem either very happy or very upset.
Yeah. When you put it that way, you could almost say the same thing about the people who think about the future.
Yes.
There's a correlation.
Wow. Yes. They're either super happy or super pissed.
Yeah.
So trouble, controversy, you said on your radio show, which I should give a plug that, I don't know, men or women or women, or you're talking about your child at the time, right? You're talking about your daughter?
I think I was asked a question.
Oh, that's okay.
And I try to answer honestly, and then things got a little twisted and
Can't
stuff.
do that.
So can't do that. So now it's like I'm just kind of quiet. And it's funny because I try to stay away from hot button issues, and I never talk politics because I always just tell people, say, hey, listen, I'm in the people business. I don't want to alienate anyone. I don't want to give anyone a reason to change the channel. I want everyone to like me. I'm just trying to work hard, stay focused, do the right thing. I worry about myself. I worry about my family. I try to help out my community. I take care of causes that are important to me. I grew up in a Boys and Girls Club, so I give back to that. And I figure if most of us kind of did that, society would be a little bit better off. And I'm not as knowledgeable on whatever it is you're talking about, even though I may be. I say I'm not, so I'd rather not kind of share my thoughts on that. And it's unfortunate that a lot of times it feels like we can't have a healthy dialogue. Because how you supposed to learn, how you supposed to grow, right?
Well, half the shit I get in trouble about starts with somebody asked me a question and I answered it. I didn't manufacture most of the stuff I get yelled at about. Somebody asked me and I just answered because I kind of believe it's part of my job. And now we've created this thing where, there's a kind of math that you can extrapolate. Like first is don't answer these kinds of questions. And now that's a pretty broad spectrum because anything can be woven back to anything. So there's that, number one. And then there's another math, which is, or don't do it at all because you're going to be asked this and that kind of question. And then what we're going to end up with is less dialogue, less diversity, less people where we know here's how they think or here's their opinion on that. I don't know why that's the plan, and I don't know if that is the plan. It's just what happens when you ask a person a question, they give an honest answer, and then you wish them out into the cornfield, and now they learn to zip it.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to change, Adam?
I do, but it's basically we have to do with the super woke left what we did with Scientology. We sat around and we got bullied by Scientology for 25 years, maybe more, people just going, don't run afoul of Scientology. Don't do it. I was in radio on K-Rock in the 90s. I said some things about Scientology, and everyone said to me, do not mess with Scientology. They will destroy you. They will destroy you. You apologize or you fix it or don't bring it up. But nobody said jack squat about Scientology because they were all literally scared of Scientology. And then at some point, Leah Remini and other people, this is 10 minutes ago, though. I mean, they had a run of, I'm saying 25 years. It could have been 40, 50 years of people just zipping it because they were scared what they were going to do to them because there were this kind of the wizard behind the curtain.
There was a lot of lore.
Yeah, they'll ruin you.
Yeah.
People say to me, though, they will ruin you. And also, I had a proximity to Scientology, which is the Celebrity Center was down. I lived up Beechwood Canyon. Mm-hmm. I was like, if they want to ruin me, they can walk. They don't have to get in a station wagon like the Manson family. They can just walk up to my house and ruin me. It did freak me out to go down the hill and drive past the Celebrity Center every day because they could hit me. But so then people started speaking out. Now, what did Scientology do? They packed it in. I mean, what are they going to do? How can they police all the people that are speaking out against them? So I've been saying for years, stop apologizing. Everyone starts speaking their mind. Just do it all at once, and there's nothing. It's basically, if Gavin Newsom shuts down the beaches, let's all go to the beach. Everyone drop what you're doing and go to the beach, and you see if anyone gets arrested. You see how it works out. I bet we all just get to go to the beach. But we won't do that. We're freaked out, and so people wander out individually to the beach, and they get picked off. We need to do it all at once. We're starting, you're hearing more voices, and it's starting now. But this should have started 10 years ago. People stop walking back statements that you've made. They're your idea. And why shouldn't you be able to share that?
I agree. I look, I like to learn. I don't try to know all the answers. I try to keep an open mind, and I want, because I like history, I want to continue to grow as a person. So I want to be a good listener. But if you're not allowed to kind of share with how you feel, then you do feel sort of a little stifled, and you figure it's just easier. Just, you know what, I'm just going to be quiet.
How's where celebrities at? You've been doing Access Hollywood for, God, how long?
Well, I was on Extra.
Oh, Extra, that's right.
For
Access
10
and
years, and now I've been on Access for 3 years.
Are they less accessible, more speaking out, less speaking out? Like, what's the gestalt?
I've been pretty lucky in the sense that because I'm also an actor and I've been doing it a long time, I think most of the celebrities feel pretty comfortable with me. Plus, I'm not that guy that's trying to have a gotcha moment, right, or come from a salacious point of view. I'm genuinely a fan, and I love what I do because I love entertainment. I love TV. I love movies. I love music, and I love learning about it. And I do my homework, and they can tell that I've seen their project. I've done my research. So then they get into it and they feel comfortable. And the irony is they end up kind of divulging probably more than they wanted to anyway. So I think coming from a place of a fan, then they start to kind of slowly let their guard down. And then they've been, I can only speak for myself, they've been really cool with me so far.
All right, Mario, you're not plugging anything. You're just coming by and saying hi, which
no, but I'll plug it. I'm here.
Access Hollywood weeknights on NBC, and then
Access Daily during the day.
Access
weekdays.
Daily.
That's
right.
Yeah, so you get a lot of Mario on NBC every day, and then nationally syndicated show On with Mario on iHeartRadio.
That's right.
God, how many places you syndicated into?
The radio show?
Yeah,
over 100.
Nice,
over 100. So 100, I think it was like 20 or something like that. So I do the radio show. My wife comes in and does that with me a couple days a week, which is a fun dynamic. And then I'll do Access Daily and then Access Hollywood, and all that is at Universal. So I'm basically sequestered there. Then I got a podcast as well, Fight Podcast. So, which I know I'd love to have you on too, by the way.
I'd love to.
So that'd be fun. You're a big fight fan.
Yeah, I am.
Adam and I've got to spar before. That was awesome.
Yeah, Mario beat the shit out of me.
No, that was it was a good scrap. That was fun. You got hands, scrapper.
Man. Mario can box, I'll tell you that. And whatever the nice guy with the dimples and the smiles leaves it all in the corner when that bell rings. The fucking Tasmanian devil comes, the chupacabra comes at you. All right, let me hit a spot and then we'll do some news. I'll tell you about Keeps. That's right. More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. Keeps, it's a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months in discreet packaging. Low cost starts at just $10 per month. Treatment plans are typically half the cost of the pharmacy prices. Proven results. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than its competitors, and you can check out the before and after photos as well. Prevention is key. You got to get it early, people. And treatment can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act fast. It is Keeps, right, Dawson?
If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/Adam to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/Adam to get your first month free. keeps.com/Adam.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Come back with the news and Mario Lopez right after this. I just want to kind of plant this seed, Mario, which is I walked past Mario's house for 2 years and watched it built since it was just earth. Beautiful backyard, a beautiful swimming pool.
Oh, thank you. And I know you're a carpenter too. How's it looking? I mean, what was it?
I was examining the work.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about the nailing schedule on the shear wall on the south side of the house. But we can talk off the air. We'll have to pull some stucco back, and I'll go ahead and measure that.
Okay.
Beautiful backyard. I'd love to come over. And
open
enjoy
invite,
a little tequila.
There we go.
It's getting warm out. I'll get in the pool, but I'm keeping my shirt on. All right. I don't want you walking around all greased up and hairless, doing a weird flexing where you're trying to itch your back. All right, so just want to put it out there. Shirt staying on.
Wear your rash guard.
I'm wearing my rash guard.
Well, it was a very sad and troubling and scary 4th of July for the people of Highland Park in Illinois, which is a very well-to-do suburb of Chicago. So at least 6 people were killed, 24 others seriously injured after this 22-year-old gunman opened fire at the parade. As the parade began rolling through downtown, police said this guy climbed the roof using a ladder in an alley. He opened fire with an assault rifle at the crowd below. There were reports he'd been planning the assault for weeks. He dressed up as a woman to sort of blend into the crowd. I don't know if you saw pictures of him. We don't really name these guys. But he had tattoos and shit all over his face.
Fairly insane.
Yeah.
Sad.
After this manhunt lasted several hours, police apprehended the guy following a car chase. And apparently he's a aspiring rapper, posted a lot of violent videos on YouTube. And now another report is coming out that he was scoping out a synagogue in April. And yet the uncle came on and said, I never saw any problem with the kid. Didn't seem trouble to me.
People, look, there's not enough FBI guys to go out on calls, and there's too many guns that are already out in circulation. We need some home policing going on here. There's just the outside-in version of it. Like, well, we'll just dispatch the FBI to what? Follow up every crackpot who sends a tweet out that seems threatening or bizarre or insane. It's not enough of them. It's like not enough school counselors to ever get the grade levels up for the kids that don't study at home and parents don't give a crap. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, uncles, family, kid's getting his 3rd face tattoo and looking at Soldier of Fortune magazine. Somebody's got to start. We got to work at the inside.
I feel like whenever they interview the neighbors too, whether it's a serial killer or whether it's an individual like that. He was nice, quiet,
kept to himself.
Kept to himself. They never vocal about seeing any sort of.
And to that point, I was just thinking, we just talked about the Uvalde shooter who shot his grandmother in the face, and when she came running out of the yard saying, guess who did this to me, the neighbor knew right away. So maybe that's a good snitching from the neighbor.
I didn't spend a lot of time looking at this because 4th of July is with my family, whatever, but I was scrolling Twitter like late at night. Apparently this guy's dad is kind of kooky, so you're the self-policing, while fantastic, falls apart when your dad's a nut job.
No, it's gotta spread into dad's brother, neighbors. It's like whoever the next least kooky person is.
Next of kook.
Here's it's a simple test. Like if you go to the parent or go to the family member or whomever and said, did you hear about name the guy? And then they went, oh my God, what did he do?
Right.
Did he do that? I'm arresting you.
Yeah.
That meant you fucking knew this guy was a ticking time.
What
If
do
you
you
go
do
like,
now?
oh shit.
Yeah.
If somebody said to me, if Mark Garrigo said to me, did you hear about Sonny? I'd go, what do you do? Compliment you again when you were walking in the neighborhood? Like,
Pester you with basketball stats?
Yes. That I wouldn't go, oh my God, what did he do?
What now?
What now?
Yeah.
Right. All
Yeah.
right. So it's my what now policy.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with this kid. Brittney Griner, she, we've been talking about her, imprisoned WNBA star. She's handwritten a letter to President Biden that was delivered Monday to the White House, where she pleaded with the president not to forget about her. Griner's been held in Russia since mid-February.
How does that work? You get a steno pad and then you hand it to the bailiff, or no, you like
Get
you
yourself a
guard
stamp.
and go like.
Yeah. The Phoenix Mercury Center was arrested. We talked about this at a Moscow airport in February because allegedly some cannabis oil was found in her luggage. She's been ordered by a Russian judge to remain behind bars during her trial. That began Friday. Do you know, we had never actually discussed this. Do you know why she was there?
No.
In her off season from the WNBA, she plays in Russia.
She plays in the Russian league.
To pick up some extra money on the side and look at that.
I saw a press conference. Not a press conference. Someone was asking Biden. He's like, "Yeah, I'm aware of it. We're on it, but I don't know what that means."
Yeah,
that's what's the consequence in Russia that potentially
up to 7 years in prison.
Oh my God.
It's a healthy prison sentence.
That's severe, though. Doesn't it seem too severe?
Indeed, it does.
She's too tall for prison. Prison it's a lot of like undersized.
Low ceilings.
And by the way, they ain't padded.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's cinder block.
Wow.
They're not made for that kind of range.
You would just
Shower
think,
heads.
No, you're right.
Titty height.
It starts at the belly button.
It's just not a good place to be tall. She's 6'9". Prison's not.
It's not.
It's basically like living on a Southwest flight at 6'9".
boy.
You know, like everything is not made for you.
You would just think in some ways, Russia is so into like showing diplomacy and like you're playing for us or you're playing here that would be a pass, but no.
I don't know. Someone should tell Putin, you're going to get some bad ink.
Yeah.
You're no
There's gonna be
longer going to
backlash.
be the darling of the free world. You keep this shit up.
We learned some very interesting things about Putin the other day about his shaky tremors and why he's always kind of holding a table now and some.
What'd you learn?
That there's some health issues.
No, I've been hearing that. Those
Yeah.
legit, or was that just a rumor?
Apparently it's legit.
It's legit.
Yeah.
The latest season of Stranger Things, one of the storylines is he's in a Russian prison.
That's right.
Not a good place to be.
Correct.
I mean,
I don't
if
know
we're
if
going
you
to
guys
base
have
it
been
on
watching.
Stranger Things.
Yeah,
but right, it doesn't look.
Not a vacation.
No, definitely not.
But also, what do we, do we have any ability to do anything anymore? Like what I'm saying is, it's like, well, what I'm saying is like Biden's known about it for 3 months.
Right.
It's just, what's he? Well, he's interested.
Don't they usually sort of barter?
They usually try to trade him somewhere.
Right.
Like we got Yakov Smirnoff. I know you'd like to imprison him. We'll trade him. I mean, I love the guy, but we're kind of done with him. I mean,
he's made his bones here.
He's made enough jokes.
But it's always like, we'll give you
Back in the
one.
Alice days. We're taking it back, all these references.
We'll give you one harmless WNBA player for like 3 war criminals.
Right.
So what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, or maybe we'll like lease them Seagal.
Oh, right.
We're not going to give them away. But
like a Rodman situation.
He likes to kick
Rodman.
it there, though. Seagal does like to kick it there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's you should be a diplomat.
Well, other than we kind of go, yeah, we're aware of it. We want to get her back, but here we are.
Well.
Look, what are we going to do?
Nothing. So we'll see how the the trial, quote unquote, goes. Let's talk about a real hero, a real American hero, more so than in past years when he's been a hero.
Can I say this? So,
yes.
Look, I don't believe the CBD whatever oil was planted. She's an athlete. She has to recover. Many NBA folks, like to partake.
What?
It's fine. It's medicine for them, or it helps them. But it helps them relax, or it's good for their muscle aches. They don't have to take Vicodin.
Right.
Good. I'm not judging that. But it would suggest that Russia's not hip and cool with the CBD oil or the cannabis oil or whatever we're talking about. And I know they're all kind of piped up on vodka over there. Shouldn't we get a little weed going their direction? Like, as a culture.
Might chill them out a little.
Yeah.
The ripping a bong load just sort of as a culture, maybe a little less invading of Ukraine and a little much seeing what movies Lopez is recommending this week
That's a good
on the
move.
tube.
I like that plan. That's a good 1-2 punch.
They need some fucking CBD more than any culture I can think of. And instead, as far as I can tell, their weapon of choice is vodka, which just gets you going the other direction.
Get you riled up.
Right.
You're absolutely right. So let's talk about this hero, Joey Chestnut.
Oh, my God.
He did it again, and in a spectacular feat this year.
Can I just say, greatest athlete America's ever produced.
Absolutely.
Joey Chestnut.
Thank you.
15 in a row. And as he's competing, somebody tried to protest, then he gets my dude in a rear naked choke.
I know.
Continues to dominate. Just next level.
He's a superhero. I'm going to show it to you.
And he did it with like a broken leg, didn't he?
Yes.
Or broken.
Yes. He's 38. He won his 15th competition at the 4th of July. Nathan's famous
killed
annual
Kobayashi already.
Kobayashi,
This time, now he's slipping a little, but we have a good excuse. He only ate 63 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. That's down from his 76 from last year. But that low total may have to do with the fact that he, as you said, took down a protester in the middle of the match. This guy pushed Chestnut, so Chestnut grabs him and takes him to the ground. Here's the clip.
Well, during the competition, a protester with a Darth Vader mask rushed the stage and bumped into Chestnut.
He gets in a rear naked. Look at that.
Chokehold there. I think he's done it before.
Good.
With a mouthful of food.
Didn't even hesitate. Legend. Straight legend.
Given refunds to the
shows you a couple different angles.
What was that guy protesting, by the way?
I'll tell you.
Environmental thing or something?
No.
He was against hot dogs?
He's against hot dogs. He's
against hot dogs.
They all wore masks of stormtroopers and Darth Vader from Star Wars, and when they walked on stage, they displayed exposed Smithfield's Death Star, which I guess is a pork processing plant and pig farm, and they didn't like that.
People remember Joe Coy.
That's Kobayashi. That was his first appearance on the show.
First gig on the radio show like 15 years ago. He would call us Kobayashi and
we had Joey Chestnut on the show.
Yeah,
we
would
would taunt him.
I don't know if you can find that anywhere on the internet. It's so funny.
It would have been 06 for sure, because Tad was only on for that 1 year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he would be Joe Coy, who's selling out the arenas now, was on his Kobayashi.
Did Chestnut know it was a bit?
Here's the thing about
you got into it.
Guys that are good at athletic endeavors or guys like that. It's kind of athletes are this way. Like, even if they kind of know you're kidding, they still don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you go interview Dan Marino and go, all right, pretend you're gay. Who would you most be attracted to in the NFL?
He doesn't play ball?
They're not fans of that kind of talk. But look, can we? Yes.
Well, let me just say, food for thought. As you point out, curiosity is the best trait. Right? You want to learn about something, you dig a little deep. I'm like, I saw the highlights. Wonderful, Joey Chestnut. Blah blah blah. I'm like, what the fuck ever happened to Kobayashi? Like, I dominated, and it was gone. So I did a little digging. Not much. It's pretty easy to find. Turns out there was a dispute with Major League Eating, which puts on all these contests.
MLE,
and he refused to sign an exclusivity contract with them.
Principled stance.
And they banned him from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
So is he eating Is he competing in other?
He was doing all over the world.
Got to be in Dubai doing some
No, because I don't think. No, I know what you're saying though, because they don't just eat hot dogs. They got like meatball eating contests and taco eating contests.
He was doing unsanctioned contests.
Wow.
And so, if I may just finish, Kobayashi in 2010 crashed the Nathan's hot dog eating contest after being banned for a number of years. And when the crowd started chanting because they recognized who he was, he took to the stage hoping they'd let him eat and let him compete. They arrested him, and he's been banned for life.
Wow.
From the hot dog eating contest.
Wow.
So, Joey Chestnut,
hero.
good for you, American hero. But let's not forget that your main competition, who won 6 in a row, was not allowed to compete.
Thank you for that. I always wondered what happened to Kobayashi and his
There's
dominance.
an asterisk next to Joey Chestnut.
There should be.
Well, but we can count the number of dogs consumed. You know, it's hard to do the Mark McGwire, juicing era home runs, Reggie Jackson, whatever.
True.
These are equal size, equal weight, equal numbers.
Well, Kobayashi's a lot smaller dude.
He is.
He's a lot smaller dude.
I would say Joey can hold the crown and sleep like a baby if his numbers outdid Kobayashi's big numbers.
True. Yes. Kobayashi topped out at 53.
Oh, no, then Chestnut's next level.
He can't
He's next
hold
level.
Joey's
Chestnut's
jock.
next
That was
level.
No asterisk.
No
That's how he
asterisk.
would improve
No,
his
that's
game.
true. No, that's true.
I got to give it to Chestnut, but I will say this. First off, meatball eating contest, fine. Tacos, fine. I don't like the wings. There's too much left on the bone. I got to see how much.
Room for controversy.
Not precise. Not precise at all.
Make that food disappear.
Yeah.
Yep.
And should we I say this every year. We need to reboot. Pull the dog out, dip it in a cup of water.
Yeah.
You have to eat hot dogs as presented when you were 9 from the barbecue at your dad's place. I want a hot dog.
Yeah.
You have to eat the hot dog. I want to see how many you can eat.
Like a human.
They're still eating them.
They're taking them apart. They're dunking them in water, and they're shoving. I want to see you eat that hot dog.
Old school style.
See the fat. Look, the numbers are going to go down.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Just like they have natural bodybuilding
Yes,
competitions and then juicing and stuff. Fine.
Right.
Let's have a natural competition. You make every 5th one a loaded chili dog. That's the money.
With a pretzel bun.
Ooh.
Pretzel bun. That's the money ball. That's the 3-point. That's the 3-point shootout. That's the red, white, and blue ball. Let's do a whole new scoring system.
They added who can drink a gallon of lemonade the fastest this year.
I saw that.
That was
That's
wild
impressive.
too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you go into like sugar shock, like a diabetic coma?
I don't know. We have Kobayashi from 2006 from the Adam Carolla show.
Oh, nice.
Hold on. We have Kobayashi on the phone. He doesn't like what Joey's been saying. Kobe?
Joey Chestnut, you should not even train because you're a big loser.
Oh, no. Now, these are fighting words. Listen, Kobayashi. Oh, look, he's training right now.
Commitment.
I'm
Sounds like he's on sausage.
real dog, sir.
Wow.
Real dog, sir.
Kobayashi, I got to say that I think my man Joey's going to beat you next 4th of July.
That is a shame, Adam Carolla, that you are big loser like a Joey Chestnut.
Joey, can you beat Kobayashi?
Oh, yeah. This is I've come a long way. He's just a little guy. He's going to get beaten.
But you said that last time and you couldn't beat him. Leslie's amused.
Joey! What are you talking about, sir?
No, I beat him in a 1-minute contest once.
You are not a hot dog. You are a hot beach.
Wow. Those are fighting words.
Oh, that is a funny.
Next time I see him, I'm going to hit him and he's not going to go, what happened?
Yes.
I was born to eat the hot dog. The reason why I was born on the year of the dog.
I see.
That day was a very hot. I don't know if you get it, but it was one hot dog.
I did the math about 4 minutes ago. That is huge.
Oh, Joey Chestnut is a sissy.
Oh, I called you a sissy.
I got a better for you, Joey. How about if this time you win, I retire. But if I win, I give your wife a foot-long hot dog.
Congratulations, man. Wow.
Always give her cocktail weenie.
Not subtle.
He's obsessed with frankfurters. And I gotta say,
Joey Chestnut, so you are a sissy.
I've not heard Kobayashi speak until this point.
Everyone thinks I eat a hot dog with the water. I eat it with the sake.
Well, it is true. You do have to dunk the bun, right?
Yes, you do have a dunk. But I dunk in a sake.
Wow. Joey, I got to tell you, your work is cut out for you next year.
Joey, just retire. Go back to being a fat.
Called you fat.
Joey Chestnut is a loser.
All right, Kobayashi, thanks for calling in.
One thing I want to say.
Yeah.
I eat a hot dog so much, I poop in links.
All right. The great
stuff.
Joe Coy.
Taunting him.
Couldn't do that bit these days.
No. Even Joe can't.
I was going to say, can Joe?
No, but it is funny that I think August, found Joe Coy.
That was his first time on the show. He was never on his show.
Wait, when's his movie coming out?
August?
Very soon, yeah.
Yeah, that's got a big feature film coming out.
He's a nice guy. Good for him.
He's a great guy. But it's crazy. Mike was like, we got a guy who does a Kobayashi. You've never heard of him. You've never heard of the guy, but he does it. All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
More wieners for me, bitches.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, there's the Jordan Harbinger Show, a different kind of sponsor for this episode. The Jordan Harbinger Show is a great show. If you love fascinating podcasts with interesting people, you definitely need to check it out. Jordan's been on this show a few times. We've had on me and Dr. Drew's show. Always a good story. Episodes for everyone, no matter what you're into. Jordan will talk to Scott Adams about persuasion in a world where facts don't matter. Or go inside the dark world of wildlife trafficking. You always find something useful to apply to your life, routine changes that boost productivity, or slight mindset tweaks that help you see the world in a little bit of a different way. Jordan's a good dude, and he does a great podcast. So if you want to find the show, and I think you should, search Jordan Harbinger Show. That is HARB as in boy, IN as in Nancy, GER, and you can find it at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to finer podcasts. It's Jordan Harbinger. Mario has Access Hollywood weeknights at NBC, and shoot him a look at his Instagram at Mario Lopez. Springfield, Missouri, Blue Room Comedy Club. That's July 15th and 16th. Doing some stand-up and some live pod there. And then New York, The Stand will be there with Mark Norman and other great comedians. So I think get a few tickets to that coming up on the 20th. Go to adamcarolla.com and pre-order the book and all that because it's coming soon. And until next time, Sam Carolla, Gina Grad, Mario Lopez, and Ball Bryan saying mahalo. So then people start speaking out. Now, what did Scientology do? They packed it in. I mean, what are they going to do? How can they police all the people that are speaking out against them? So I've been saying for years, stop apologizing. Everyone starts speaking their mind. Just do it all at once, and there's nothing. It's basically, if Gavin Newsom shuts down the beaches, let's all go to the beach. Everyone drop what you're doing and go to the beach. And you see